Hello, everyone, and welcome on back. So I got about half of my work done, so that's exciting. And then that's kind of how I did a lot of my work in college. Like, granted, it's not the best method, but as far as like a balance of sanity, a balance of your time, a balance of your relationships too, because I mean, like, I pretty much did the Van Wilder approach to college. Um, and I was pretty much not really Van Wilder. Like, I mean, but sorry, I was trying to say something to not sound like I'm not as dreamy as Ryan Reynolds, but no, like fact, like I mean, he can get ladies like really easily, and he just continues to build on it, and it's just fun. It's funny, like how easy, and it's like I mean, I keep thinking about Deadpool. I forgot his name for a bit there, and that's like one of my favorite movies because I laughed so hard I was crying twice on the second one. It was so bad. It was so funny. Um, but so inappropriate for kids. So that's the thing. Wait until you're little, at least a little older. I mean, granted, see, I don't know. 18 is subjective for like gory movies, but like sending people to war, that's like where I'm kind of like, and that's going to be an unpopular opinion. Also, hey, let's make a wildberry farm. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, and I usually make wood slabs. Yep, or acacia slab. Yeah, wood. So, and then again, wattles. Like he showed, there's a couple ways you could do this. Like right here, see, I don't know. I like it being close, but then I don't. Because then every time I come out this door, I'm going to have, that in front of it. I mean, it'd be good to like, oh yeah, down here. And then you just kind of do, and then you could even do, all right, so it's pretty, trying to make them even there. Oh, but anyways, what I was saying, like, we were covering a lot of ground last musings, so and I just wanted to pick up where that is like, not to sound too biblical, because again, to the certain people, it is offensive. I mean, to people that things aren't working out all right, religion is offensive because all of them say if you follow, whoops, if you follow these, see, couldn't walk out. No, I'm just kidding. We were not about to go into, oof, actually right there. Oh, well, that's okay. I was already going to be one short. That's fine. I'd rather not step on that later. So the point of this is you protect yourself from the berry, the bush. So you don't have to worry about, and you can harvest them once they start getting ready to be harvested. Um, Actually, that's probably good. I was even going to cut down the tree, but honestly, like, you go down one side, up the other. Like, I'd probably even be okay with, oh, wow. Yeah, even doing this. Because then that implies that I'm going to do the same thing again. Yep, I like it. Combining nature with it. Now we're going to have to keep those trees, or not, I don't know. But the cow's confused. It's okay. I mean, these cows are captive, and it's just a game. But, anyways, no, the meek thing, the charity thing. So now, whatever that means, the meeting between Elon and I want to say it's like Modi, and people have different opinions of him, just like any leader. And I don't know. I wish I knew. Wait, what are we doing with these? I guess we'll just leave them here. Well, no, these are like valuable, so let's put them in the valuable. I mean, definitely, but I want to go find a lot more of this. And so I think that's where I'm going to try to head, like, do another map uh, west of here. I want to make sure I haven't already, because even as I say that, I need to, like, go back to the main area, name these things, at least so I can get a sense of, like, where's been discovered yet. And for that, like, this isn't... Oh, wait a minute. This base is... But it's only this far. Okay, sorry, I had to think about, like... So I could go to the west of this map, or the east, but then I went up north of this map to find that, and just to show right here. Because, yeah, it lines up there. Well, and that's why it's good to see these side by side, because you can see my marker, so you can know for a fact that I'm, like, south and a little to the west of this map, but still within the southern map. So I can go to the west or the east of both of these. I just went way, way up, which Yeah. I'm thinking we should go heal up our tools. Maybe go back, put the maps up. I don't know. They're not going to be named yet. I mean, I was going to do I don't know. See, I'm conflicted. We could do a whole season on that, but anyways, let's just focus on taking the maps back for now. Let's dump off all this stuff. Let's heal our tools up. I mean, there's really not much point. I'm really more. Uh, there we go. That's even going to be. I loaded all these up, and yeah, I keep trying to go to the back, even though I know there isn't one. Then, although actually, even as I say that, we should just leave that there. So if we're going back, we can heal up our tools all quick. So never mind. Let's stop doing that. Ugh. And we have all this. So many things to do. Let's leave these here. Yep. Oops. That's for. Oh yeah. That. Go ahead and leave these here. Because even though I pillaged them from random village, and that's the thing too. Like anybody who studies enough human history already knows that like our history has been pretty ugly. There's been a lot of things that very questionable at best. Actually, that's. I mean the Vikings, like storming all those places and like killing. I want to say a bunch of like more Christian type, but then I don't know, and then yeah, pirates, and then basically people with the illusion that there are other people doing much better than they are, which I mean, in some instances is true, but honestly, not a whole lot, I want to say. Although with India, it is something interesting. I noticed there was a lot of advertisements for office chairs, like, and it made me wonder if, like, because I mean, and not to be racist or not to be like stereotypical, but at the same time, like a lot of that economy is, I mean, tech support online, like I don't know. I feel like there's a healthy balance, and that's not being, I'm not trying to say that in a negative way or an offensive way. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough of that. Okay, so now let's just go dump the rest of this in. We'll make a junk drawer here. I like that. So all of this. I mean that saddle for the camel. I also realized that the blaze. We're gonna need the boat, TNT, the books, the torches, and that. All right, so we'll go put the maps back. Although as I say that, oh, whoops. I want to make a copy of map 12. And then, there we go. That way, I can leave one here. Actually, I'll just leave it in my inventory so I know to come back. But then I'll have these two maps, so then I can put those on the wall in order. I'll need a couple. Well, honestly, actually, we will take these two item frames just so I don't have to like make new ones over there. Um, yeah, but anyways, the Mr. Beast thing. Sorry, I keep trailing off of that, but I've done enough Twitch to know that the general idea is to give back to smaller streamers. Like, I mean, they grind, they do a lot of streaming for a long time, and then, oh, we're gonna pick up a bunch of netherrack. Which notice this hasn't despawned, even though we spent way a whole lot of time, way more time than it should take for these to despawn. But since we didn't actually spawn into the nether, we didn't use the portal to go to the nether, this wasn't loaded into memory. So since it wasn't loaded into memory, it pulled the most recent checkpoint of this chunk to where it had those. So, and also I think the rest of this I just had. Even as I say that, it is a bit claustrophobic, but there you go. I mean, just enough to be like, oh, I need to finish that one day. Or maybe on the way back. Oh, that's what I should have done, is gone one way down and one way back, because we're on our way back. Alright, I just made it difficult for myself. And I gotta be careful. So now, wait, we gotta go south. I do not have a minecart. Oh no, but also I just realized I do want to be holding This map. Because this was just straight up and down. Sorry, I'm just like, I mean, it's pretty easy to tell since the tracks only go this one way, but I mean, I'm kind of just kind of like getting used to it too. Because this is definitely the map, like the second map that I'm going to be going to. Because even look at it there, like I feel like that's jungle in the middle, like a bunch of jungle to the south and the west, and then that giant, like, I don't know, savanna like biome. I think it's the savanna. It's been so long since I played Java version, I can't just use the F3 button to see like what biome I'm in. So I just kind of go with what I remember. Or don't. Alright, here we go. So yeah, this is easily the junction, so. Uh, it can't be said enough. People will people. Like it's just fact. I mean, it doesn't make it right. That's why we need to keep a check on it because if left unchecked, people will do bad things due to their perceptions of reality, meaning what they think is going on. And maybe sometimes it is true, especially like, you know, thinking about like crimes of passion, stuff like that. Whoops. I almost had to chase that too because I forgot you gotta push it a little bit, trigger the trap, and then otherwise you just get kicked right out. But um, anyways, yeah, look at that. That's so cool. Actually, if you go to the rail even further than that and then go up, it's almost like you're about to get, or coming back from there, it's like you're about to get launched off and then you just suddenly drop down. Oh, it's fun. But this is pretty nice views too. Like, see, it's loading in. So if there was stuff like floating here or like left on the ground, it would now be loaded in. And then I could go gather it or whatever. But and I've had that happen before. Like I'd come to go get more dirt because I usually farm the dirt over there. And it was like, yeah, fling. And I would only do this in a video game where it really doesn't matter, like building up these riches and stuff, because, I mean, yeah. It's just play. It's like playing with blocks, but for an adult. And it never stops getting old for that very reason. It's just, you're building things, it's cool, and then you're changing the way that the reality is right there. There's a llama. A lot of coal, too. A lot of coal. Well, that sounded weird. Okay, so we'll go put these maps up. But basically what I meant by that is like once, I mean, it is the natural order. And again, this is a big thing with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let's see, 12 and then 14, I think is it. Or no, 12 and 13. All right, whoops. And then item frame. There, it goes way up. And actually, I'm surprised I didn't have to, like, I'm going to do this anyway, but I thought I had to do that. Yeah, totally planned to do it this way. It almost looks like, oh gosh, it looks like a mask. No, it looks like, um, yeah, we'll say it's a person. There's their head, their neck, their shoulder. Actually, so it could be a few things. I was thinking like a middle finger, but and I say that because my buddy he had a bar down in Pueblo, and like it was the middle finger, but it was in so Pueblo is known for their steel mill, or at least it was. It was kind of like similar to Leadville and the mine. So Pueblo had the steel mills and Leadville had the mines. And then in relation, people that didn't want to live in like super cold Leadville and moved down to Buena Vista, like my family, where it was still super cold, but not nearly as bad as Leadville. Um, yeah, so of course it was a lot cheaper to live like in Leadville because nobody wants to live up there. Um, wait, we have a lot of netherrack too. All right, so now we could actually just turn around and go right back to. I mean, we dropped off the maps. That was the main thing. So I didn't want to forget, and also like kind of like know where we were. And we could go ahead and do like exploration there, but I mean, so after this one, I'm gonna finish my chores, and then it's almost time for bed. Like, we're no longer on vacation, but that's okay, because, I mean, a couple episodes here and there, that's all right. Or I don't know. This might even be the last one too, because all right, let's see. We're gonna go heal up tools, and might as well take a bunch of the stuff over. And actually, with this stuff, let's leave. I don't know. Why not? I mean, it's not super useful. Except for as I say that, we are going to keep a couple stacks because it is useful for lighting on fire. And even though you can just go back and get more of it, but and never mind. It's been a while since I've done this. I usually take. Let's see if we have pumpkins. Okay, well, let's just take everything from this one because it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, we have a ton of both over there, so it's not like I'm going to run out. And it's just like trying to be efficient and like save as many trips, but at the same time, not paralyzing yourself to where you don't get something done. Oh man. Okay, I can't keep going on like this. At some point, we need to make a trade. So, anyways, deconstructing problems, managing realistic expectations for life, quality of life, communicating that, and that's the thing too. Because even though like the ritzy and the glamorous, like they're not doing it on purpose. Like it's something that works, and so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. And it's a way to put food on the table. Granted, I mean, and a lot of those people do. They try to give back, or like there's the Angelina Jolie thing where she adopted kids. Um, from somewhere. Um, okay. So I also had to remember how I even do this. But like, yep, the new efficient version where you actually, yeah. Oops. I say as I almost mess it up. Oh, that one, I feel like that one was already, like, usually you have to at least do a couple times. So maybe they were still, like, I haven't loaded this part in yet for a while. So maybe they were still cached, or the memory was cached of them in a state of only accepting so many. I don't know. Either way, the pickaxe is almost healed up, and we're not even out of our stuff that we brought over. We're close. Like, oh, whoops. You gotta pay attention. Like, if they are wanting to trade, and it's funny, like thinking about games these days of just being like different ways to play with blocks, but as like a more like a semi-adult and then an adult, because or maybe an aging adult. I don't know. Like there has to be kind of some delineation, and there used to be. Like in this, even I feel like it's changed recently, or maybe I just never understood it to begin with, which could be a thing. I don't know. But the legal age to rent a car, I thought it was 25 for the longest time, because we would talk about that. Like you look forward to 18, you can vote and go to war or the military, um, or you can get adult content, or um, and then 21 you can drink, and 21 you can, oh, whoops, completely not even and I don't even have pumpkins, so let's oh, there we go. That's the bad downside. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of item frames to see what even these are, because that's like a stadium of chests, and they're all gonna be empty for now. But I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of like running out of room, and that is the thing, like Java like sacrificed some of their memory usage to, oh, I guess it's time for bed, um but not really. So I have the choice of either keep waking them up, and I think I interrupted that guy's um, sleep thing. Oh, this guy's not using his bed, or lady, or gal, or whatever. Although, just kidding, because in this one they all kind of hem and hum. Like that's just I don't know. I think it gets too much because of the whole breeding thing. Like, and it's funny because I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole can of worms that's not really meant for the Minecraft. It's just playing with blocks. doing whatever you want with blocks, like altering entire worlds, like terraforming, landscaping. That's funny because, like, so for those that don't know, in America, if you're down and out, you might have to do a landscaping job because it's a job usually people don't want. It's not a very pleasant job. It's a very physical job, and it ages you really quickly. But it makes decent money. And landscaping can range anywhere from like trimming grass and bushes to laying new um, like changing the land, like digging an irrigation ditch or like putting a bunch of river rocks on a yard or landscaping. So basically changing the land for somebody that's paying you to do it. So, and it's tough work, especially like the more vain things and people have entire industries of doing it or building extravagant things for like movie stars and musicians. And so it's like in a weird, sick, twisted way, like keeping the bourgeois class happy is in itself an entire market. Um, and yeah, and the other thing is like even people within the bourgeois class, like I kind of say that as like a derogatory thing. Like, I mean, people that are wealthy and well off, they might not always be like that. Like they might go to fancy things, like and have to for appearances or what have you, or especially for work or something. I mean, you don't know, and and that's a lot of the things is like there's just always been a divide of the haves and the have-nots, and that's like the Sneetches, and that's one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books. It's like you got the star upon ours, and if you got the star, then you're good. But if you don't, no Frankfurter roasts. Also, we're gonna bring all of these. In fact, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. So we're gonna put our money where our mouth is, digitally, of course. I mean, but this is going to be a concern. Okay. Deposit all this here and just take all this. There we go. We're completely transferring these riches. Although, wait, I did not save. Okay, wait, hold on. I need one stack of disposable. Uh, okay, two. Three. Because then we're still going to take it like that, but then we'll deposit it there as such, so then it's actually more fluid. It's thinking about breaking like 100. You can't really spend 100 at a lot of places because people have figured out that you can counterfeit hundreds and make $100 just by doing one, or successfully getting change for a place that will accept your 100, which people do keep an eye out for, and you're on camera, and police do investigate that, so don't do it, first off. Second off, and it's just not right because you are stealing from somebody, and that's something that even my friends and I, when we were like younger, didn't really understand with the whole 7-Eleven thing. But like, you know, I don't know. I had a friend that used to shoplift. I think I've talked about that. But like, yeah. But anyways, um, let's see. We got those. We got those. All right. Wait. We came here for depositing the maps. We have two. We even have a thing. We need. I don't think we even have obsidian. We're gonna have to rely on that. Yeah, we just have the crying obsidian, but that's fine. Because again, we can get lava from there, but I know for a fact we already have obsidian at the place we're going through. And you'll notice I'm still not holding Indarius. I'm holding, although I need to get that back at some point. Or not, I guess. I could make another copy of the backup, hence the backup, but then I would have to rename it. See, these are the things. Like, as you're making these decisions, you're calculating. So you're just bringing a bunch of emeralds back, but we didn't get rails or iron, which I'm already thinking that was probably a bad idea. We should have gotten that, but whatever. I mean, we could walk. We could exercise a little bit, but and actually there's rail there. So even there, getting further distracted. No, my point is like the more we communicate needs and wants and understand the difference to everybody too, ourselves included. Because a lot of these things, like I'm talking like aquaponics, local food production, local production in general. That was the idea of Zeitgeist 2, where this guy mostly talked about the city of the future, which was like I want to say back in the 70s at like Disney World or something, and they had like the World's Fair Expo. Like The Simpsons had an episode where they went to the World's Fair or something, and like they tried to like exhibit these ideas and like You're like, hey, and also I'm watching the Disney Hercules, the cartoon one again. It's because it's one of my favorite movies. Like it came out, I want to say around the time, or at least I watched it. I mean, it was new to me at the time, so I don't know. Because we often didn't go to movie theaters to watch things brand new. That was for the fancy folk. But which was funny because my friends growing up were super wealthy. So I got to see like how they do it. They're like, "What? You didn't see this one yet?" And I'd almost catch his parents like look at him, and be like, just shake his head no, and just like, and I wonder what went on behind closed doors. Like, you got to be careful around, so and so because his family's not well off. And like, well, why? And then just to hear the excuses or whatever, be like, well, I don't know, like, you know because they don't understand the whole story. And being good people, they probably said something really nice, like, or at least like dodged the question, and even if it was a thing, but it was a place of being, it was a place of awkward. Like I had a friend who had all these luxuries and like literally like the other side of the tracks, we were neighbors, but we were like best friends. And then like we'd always be hanging out because we were the same age almost. And like we had all similar likes. We were way into Magic the Gathering cards, and that is kind of one of the things. I did splurge on a few very cheap boxes, mind you, of like some, I don't know, thousands of cards. And when you say it like that, it sounds all bad, but like, I mean, I don't know. It was, yeah, for a small price. But anyways, that's one of my oh, wait, let's see. So we don't even need this shovel really because we healed up our tools pretty much all the way, which just doing that little bit of trading. And then yeah, we're gonna have all this wealth there. So like whoever takes over that land, I don't know, they'll be able to build like cool stuff, or maybe myself. I don't know. Let's see. I also don't have any power rails, so okay. Keep taking more because I want to at least lay these ones, and then I'll still try to do it. Yeah, we got to waste because we got to run through. But anyways, no. Just my point is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs is definitely real. Like that's accurate. Because the order of people feeling good about themselves enough to give to charity, it's just I've noticed it like from several different instances. I want to say it's a pillar of Islam, and I know it's a foundation of Christianity. Like you give back 10% of the land or the land yield or whatever it is. And again, these are books that I mean, if you watch Zeitgeist 1, it compares like Christianity to like several like hundred other versions of Jesus and the whole story of died and was resurrected later. So like even the idea of like the whole story. Okay, so now we're here quite literally at a crossroads, and I want to say this was the existing one. Yeah, because that goes all the way through. Um, let's see, do we have a block? We do have a block. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. So put that there. It's kind of sloppy. I might change it later, but for now, we can do this. Those I kind of semi-pay attention. We can do this. So, but anyways, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for a refresher for anyone who's just joining us, is where you take care of your needs, your basic needs, your food, your shelter, your family creation, your romance, all that. Like you take care of your needs. Whoops, that was actually wait, 16 down to 8, wasn't it? Yeah. So that should actually be yeah. Because we went from a full stack. Just a quick check. I mean, even though and people at home are probably like, it is full. You did the full stack, and that is a factor of 8. And so you did the math correctly, even though you're like haphazardly doing it in your head, not really well, while trying to explain Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like the people juggling like plates and stuffs on sticks. Like, anyways, no, but it's very true because once people feel content, then they start looking outwards and be like, how can I? And even if they don't feel content, and that's where you get people that stretch themselves too thin and will bend over backwards for others, whether they get reciprocations or not. I mean, it's just a thing. And I am one of those people. Like, I kind of tend to try to do that, but like I've also learned to establish boundaries too. So I mean, which is important for Pretty much everyone, like, because everybody wants to do good things. Like, that's the core of Boy Scouts, and I'm pretty sure Girl Scouts too. But I don't know. That's a different universe that I'm not aware of. So right there, I mean, and even if I ask somebody, that's not the same as like being there. But I know Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts is a bad example, but oh, look at that. That was actually about the right amount to get to where we needed to go. So that was good. But anyways, um, but that's just the thing. So like I know I grew up learning, do a good turn daily and do unto others as you want done to you, and just all of this stuff that seems pretty like when you say it like that, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, oh, I can see that. But then it's like when you actually try to do something, they're like, oh wait, I didn't know you were talking about that. And then so that's the thing, communication. And also communicating what needs to be done, because that's the other thing too, is like you see all those when we had poor communication of just like TV and TV ads for like feeding people in Africa. It made it sound like the entire country was just desperately starving. And that was partly because they went to places granted, I could be completely wrong, and I apologize if this is really the case, but I don't feel like that is the entire continent of Africa. I mean, I know it's not, at least, well, see, I can't even say that with authority because, like, when I was looking into the World Food Fund or whatever the acronym is, because there was a time when Elon said that he would sell off enough shares. Oh yeah, this is our experiment for fall damage, but he would sell off enough shares to end world hunger if they could develop a plan. And it was a very bold and cocky move, and on purpose, because he was making a point where it's like you can't just end world hunger. No amount of money can end it. Now, granted, no amount of money can end it overnight because it needs to be ended permanently with a scalable solution. So that's the thing. Like, really, they would need to have put a dollar amount on building an aquaponics setup for every village or every like of a certain population or even maybe even a certain geographical area. So that way the existing infrastructure is there whether they want to settle there or not, and then they can make the choice. And we can also try to do nature preserves. Like, I mean, I know we still try to do that in the US, but it's hard because that's one of the things that goes on the chopping block when politicians argue or negotiate or whatever you want to call it. um yeah, let's exchange this and let's just load it up here. Oh, there's the alarm. But anyways, like my point being, actually, yeah, let's round out that point a little bit more because the point is the more that we learn about what we can do to help and feel confident and comfortable with ourselves, the better suited we are to fix all of the world's problems, all of it. Now, the death stuff, the war stuff, we don't have that figured out yet. I mean, Ukraine and China, like it's also very nervous, and the U.S. too. We're all over the place. We got bigger guns than everyone. Like, we're probably scaring the crud out of like most of the world. So, and ourselves included too. Like every time we see something like Putin wiling out or something, or every time Trump started saying like with fire and fury, like a lot of us were just like, oh crud, are we about to get drafted? Like, it's a very real possibility. Our parents were drafted at a time when you were forced to go and kill people that you didn't know for people that you didn't know for reasons that you didn't know. Like we just did it, and not a lot of people understood it. So, yeah, that's war in a nutshell, and that's the U.S. history. So, I mean, not saying it's wrong, and not saying, I mean, well, it is wrong, the killing, but like it also put food on a lot of people's tables, unfortunately. Like it was like the death business out of necessity, partly, but then it's more, I don't know, that's debatable. I mean, World War II, even, like, I want to say, like, yeah, it was very real and present danger there, but then, like, I don't know. I often wondered, like, if they completely walked back the entire Aryan race thing. Now, bear with me here because this is kind of a heavy topic. If they, I mean, they'd still get punished for killing people, and that's the thing is like once you're in it, it doesn't matter 150 or a million, and that's the sad thing. So it's almost like at the time, anyone that participated in that would also get executed and punished or prison for life and all that. So it's like an eye for an eye would have made like that entire. So yeah, so like a lot of so much evil and misunderstanding too, because I feel like they actually thought that there was like, you had to be that way, and it was a race. But instead of understanding, wait, like we know now, and one of Neil Tyson's things is he talked about exactly how like identical we are on a genetic level, to where it really doesn't matter. Your skin pigment in slight differences from your geopolitical location or your geographical location. Sorry, not geopolitical, but like But yeah, I mean, certain people develop different ways. I mean, we're all, that's why it's funny. Like, aliens are probably just us, just like the same different types, like more or less sun exposure, and then, or whatever, like where you lived in the world. So, anyways, that's probably ranting enough. 35 minutes, yeah. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great night. See ya. Or if I don't see ya, then I'll see ya. Ta ta.